Welcome to Mystery Unfolds, where the unexpected awaits. Let's uncover the mystery, the case of the disappearing treasure. Episode 1. The Lost Journal. Clara Hensley had never paid much attention to her family's history. Her great-grandfather, Charles Hensley, was a famous explorer, but his name only came up during family dinners or old stories. However, one rainy afternoon, Clara decided to visit the Hensley family mansion. It had been empty for years, left to gather dust and memories. The house was cold and quiet, with creaking floors and dim light coming through broken windows. Clara went to the attic, hoping to sort through some old belongings. As she opened a wooden chest, she found a leather-bound book. It looked old and worn, with the name Charles Hensley engraved on the cover. Curious, Clara flipped through the pages. The journal was filled with sketches of maps, symbols, and detailed notes. One map showed a large X marked on a remote location, and the words, Obsidian Order, were scribbled next to it. Clara had never heard of this name before. One of the last pages made her stop. It read, "If you find this journal, know that the treasure is more than gold. It is power. Trust no one." As Clara closed the journal, a small, rusted key fell from its back cover. The key had the words, Vault 14, engraved on it. Clara didn't know what it all meant, but she felt a strange excitement. What if the treasure her great-grandfather mentioned was real? She decided to find out. Episode 2. The Mansion's Secrets. The next morning, Clara returned to the mansion, determined to learn more. She carried the journal and key, hoping to find other clues in the house. Her great-grandfather's study was her first stop. It was a large room with shelves full of old books and strange objects from Charles's travels. While searching the study, Clara noticed that one bookshelf was slightly out of place. She pulled it aside and discovered a hidden door. Behind the door was a small room filled with maps, letters, and artifacts. One letter caught Clara's attention. It was addressed to someone named E. Carter and read, "The Obsidian Order is watching me. I have hidden the treasure. Protect it at all costs." The letter made Clara uneasy. Who was this E. Carter? Why was her great-grandfather hiding the treasure from a group called the Obsidian Order? As she continued searching, she found a photograph of Charles standing next to a man with a serious face. On the back of the photo was written, "The lighthouse holds the next clue." Suddenly, Clara heard a noise from downstairs. She froze. The house had been empty for years. Who else could be there? Grabbing the journal, she quietly left the study and locked the door behind her. Episode 3. A New Ally. The next day, Clara went to the town library to research the Obsidian Order. She didn't find much, except for a few mentions of it being an old group of treasure hunters. These hunters were known for using any means, sometimes even violence, to get what they wanted. While Clara was reading, she noticed a man sitting a few tables away, watching her. When she left the library, the man followed her. Clara turned around and confronted him. "Why are you following me?" she demanded. The man introduced himself as Marcus, a historian who had been studying Charles Hensley's life. Marcus said he knew about the treasure and the Obsidian Order. "They're dangerous," he warned. "If you found anything connected to Charles, they will come for you." At first, Clara didn't trust Marcus. But when he showed her old documents about the Obsidian Order and its search for ancient treasures, she decided to let him help her. Together, they studied the journal and the photograph of the lighthouse. They agreed that their next step was to visit the lighthouse to find the next clue. Episode 4. The Lighthouse Mystery. Clara and Marcus drove to the old lighthouse mentioned in the photograph. The lighthouse was near the sea, surrounded by cliffs and crashing waves. The keeper, an elderly man, welcomed them and shared a strange story. He remembered Charles visiting the lighthouse years ago. Soon after, strange men came asking questions about him. Inside the lighthouse, Clara and Marcus began their search. They checked every corner and finally found a loose floorboard. Underneath, there was a small, locked box. The rusted key Clara found in the journal fit perfectly. Inside the box was a golden compass with strange carvings. Clara didn't understand its purpose, but Marcus believed it was an important artifact tied to the treasure. Before they could examine it further, they heard footsteps outside. Peeking through the window, they saw several masked men approaching the lighthouse. "They found us," Marcus whispered. Clara and Marcus quickly hid the compass and prepared to leave. The masked men stormed into the lighthouse, demanding the artifact. Clara and Marcus managed to escape through a side door and ran towards the cliffs. As they fled, Marcus explained that the compass was likely a key to finding the treasure. It might also contain hidden information. However, it was clear that the Obsidian Order wanted it badly. Once they reached safety, Clara examined the compass more closely. When she held it in the moonlight, strange symbols began to glow faintly. Marcus suggested they take the compass to an expert for further study. Clara agreed, though she couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Episode 5: The Auction. Marcus discovered that another artifact connected to the treasure was being sold at an illegal auction. Clara and Marcus decided to attend, hoping to recover it before the Obsidian Order did. The auction was held in a dark warehouse filled with suspicious-looking buyers. When the artifact, a golden relic with carvings similar to the compass, was brought out, Clara knew they couldn't let it fall into the wrong hands. Bidding began, but the prices quickly became too high. Clara created a distraction by knocking over a display, allowing Marcus to grab the artifact. They escaped the warehouse, but not without drawing attention. As they drove away, Clara asked Marcus how he knew so much about the treasure. His vague answers made her suspicious. Was he hiding something from her? The compass and the newly acquired relic revealed another clue. The treasure's location was on a remote island. Clara and Marcus set out by boat, reaching the island after a long journey. The island was covered in thick jungle, but Clara noticed markings on the trees that matched the symbols on the compass. Following the symbols, they found ruins of an ancient civilization. At the center of the ruins was a large stone door with carvings. The compass fit perfectly into a slot on the door, and it slowly opened. Behind it was a cave filled with treasure, gold, jewels, and strange glowing artifacts. Episode 6: The Curse of the Treasure. As Clara and Marcus explored the treasure room, they realized something was wrong. The artifacts emitted a strange energy, and the air felt heavy. Marcus explained that the treasure might be cursed, as Charles had hinted in his journal. Before they could leave, the Obsidian Order arrived, led by a ruthless man who demanded the artifacts. Clara and Marcus tried to reason with him, warning of the curse, but he didn't listen. When the leader opened one of the artifacts, a burst of energy shook the cave. The ruins began to collapse, and Clara knew they had to act quickly. Clara and Marcus escaped the collapsing cave with the compass. Marcus revealed that Charles had hidden the treasure to protect the world from its power. Clara realized they needed to destroy the artifacts to prevent the Obsidian Order from using them. They devised a plan to trap the Order inside the ruins. Using the compass, they activated the cave's ancient mechanisms, sealing the treasure and the Order inside forever. Clara and Marcus returned home, exhausted but relieved. Clara placed the journal and compass in a safe, vowing to protect her great-grandfather's legacy. She realized that Charles had sacrificed everything to keep the treasure out of dangerous hands. Though the treasure was gone, Clara felt proud to have honored her great-grandfather's wishes. As she left the room, she thought she heard a faint whisper of thanks, as if Charles was watching over her. Enjoyed the story? Subscribe for more thrilling tales and mysteries.